Well, hello there everyone, welcome to the YouTube video here on the channel. My name is Emily Jane. Today we are here at Fort William and we are preparing this Class 37 to take 6 number 56 to 1337 Fort William oil sidings to Grangemouth service. This train is going to be quite a long one actually, quite a lot of work for this little 37. But what we'll do, I'll press the Z key and we'll start that startup process. Look how that thing rocks when it starts. That's amazing. There we go. So, whilst we're waiting for the engine to warm up, we'll turn our AWS on. Our instrument lights will come on. And so will our headlights. Oh, sorry, our instrument lights will come on, and so will our route indicator. Sorry, our headlights won't go on yet because you are technically within a yard, and you don't run your headlights within a yard so that you don't blind everyone around you, basically. What we'll do is release the train brake. I'm just going to wait for that, yeah. So we're still increasing pressure in the system, which is totally fine. I just find that's the better, easier way for me to sort of see, yeah, you know what, it's not actually, I'm going to just release the brakes, and we'll just basically wait for them to fully release off. What I'll do as well, as we are stationary, I'm going to secure the train with the loco brake, or the loco with the loco brake, and I'm going to walk the handbrake off here on the Class 37. For roleplay purposes, we are going to be pretending that that our second man here has a handheld. What's the system they use up here? Remote token block RTB, but yeah, basically remote. You know, the radio. Is it RTB? I think it's RTB system. Can't be. No, it's not RTB. I forget the name of it now. That's really annoying. I'll quickly find out for you. So the West Highland Line. RETB, yeah, there we go. Close, but no cigar for Emily today. So, we'll move off. But yeah, so we'll just pretend that's being controlled remotely, as RETB isn't implemented within this train in Train Simulator. Yeah, I don't think the brakes are fully released because it's not letting me take power yet. Should do. I'm just going to double check that the fan brake's released because it can sometimes. Yep, it is released. So yeah, basically we are here at the smelter plant, which ironically, well, I'm not sure it's irony, but has actually received a Class 325. Not something you thought I was going to say, right? Turns out that during, I think 2015, 2016, when GB Rail Freight were taking over, they needed to route learn. And obviously setting a 66 up here is fine, but you need to stick something on the back to give it, you know, something to pull. And they use 325s. Who knew, right? Yeah, I think we are waiting for the chambers to fill there. What I can do is stick this into changeover mode, which will basically increase the speed of the compressor, I think. There you go. See, that's now dropping at quite a rate of knots. So we'll get the brakes fully released soon, and then we'll be able to move away. So yeah, I do love the Class 37. You can see the taillights are already on at the back, because we, basically for roleplay purposes, I think the crew would have brought the train up last night. There we go, I'll reset that. I would have brought the train down last night. There we are. And basically stabled it here. And then minimum rest period, then take it back south again. So I'm just going to coast at a slow speed. I basically just goose the throttles a little bit. The speed limit in here is 5. So I'll build that up slightly. There we go. So this is also my first look at the Armstrong Powerhouse TTA wagons. I should have mentioned that a bit sooner. Those people who came here for the TTAs probably left, but there you have it. So you can see a bit of interestingness here. They've got a hydroelectric power plant up here, so that is basically just runs straight down the mountain, which is quite cool. Myrtle Evans? So as far as I'm aware, this diagram was always worked by a class 56, but the last Coalhouse local we drove in train sim was a 56. So I just didn't really feel like we needed to do another one. Oh, it is actually 10 within here. My notes, my memory of my notes was incorrect. Put a bit of power on. Up to 10, power off. There we go. So just coasting down here nice and slow. Just going to keep an eye on our speed. Because, you know, obviously we are in the Highlands of Scotland. Therefore, you know, plot twist, the ground can be a little bit uneven at times. So just give a blast to the horn as we approach this level crossing, which is uncovered. One last blast, just again, make sure everyone's clear. There we go, we'll just keep coasting along. Yeah. So our line speed increases to 40 as soon as we clear over the point work here. It's just a case of getting over that point work, which can take a couple of moments. So to show you on a map what we're doing, we're going to couple these wagons up here, but the way that the yard's set up isn't particularly great. So we're going to pull in, reverse up, couple on, and then we can head up the line towards Spean Bridge, where the route ends, so this video ends too. We'll probably do like a run with the sleeper or something over the West Coast Main Line, sorry, over the West Island Line South. It's like a 4-hour run, and frankly, ain't Emily got time for that. Yeah, let's check how long the sleeper takes to get from Fort William to down to. So yeah, it leaves at 10 to 8, gets to Helensburgh Upper at 11:30. So it's 3.5 hours. And the longest stops I can see are like 2 minutes long. 3 minutes at one point. Yeah. Like there is an audience out there for that, but I don't think it's my audience. I think that's PTG's audience. So power on. We'll go up to that 40 limit. So there's a 15 limit there, but that's totally fine. It's actually after we need to be at a stand. So just built the speed up a little bit there, made a bit of noise for the locals. So this service actually slots in really quite perfectly, which I quite like, but unfortunately doesn't seem to run anymore, which is a shame. But it's just quite a cool little thing to see. Like I say, it uses TTAs as well, which aren't a common sight on the railway network anymore. So you can see there's our wagons over there in the little freight yard, in the oil sidings yard. Just bringing that speed down. There we go. So I'll just do that. Nice gentle stop. Fully apply the train brake for now, or the loco brake for now, and then we'll work our shutdown procedure. So the train brake goes to shutdown, reverser goes to off, that goes to off. Now because we're shunting, I'm going to leave the tail lamps, so the markers on. I didn't turn my headlight on, oopsie. And we're going to change to this end, and I'm going to turn my tail lights off. I'm going to turn my route indicator and marker lights on. So basically got marker lights on at both ends because we're shunting. Actually, we're not in a yard, so I should really go Route indicator off, tail lights on. We can leave the door open, get a bit of fresh air in from my shunt though. And then we'll power this cab up, reverse it to neutral, on, forward. So we'll basically do the full things here. And then this goes off, that goes on. And then I always turn the brightness right up because it's the middle of the day, so you know, you need as much sort of contrast there as you can get. Go about half power now. And just knock the power back. Let those brakes come off a bit quicker. There you go, and we'll take power now. So there's our wagons. You can see they look way better than the default TTAs did. So it is a 15 limit in the shunt area, but I just, yeah. Well, actually, I think it's a 40. Yeah, my apologies, it is a 40. But what I'll do is I'll just leave 15 in, because we're literally just going to stop as soon as we're clear of this point work here. I do love like taking a light engine like this and just shunting about. It does just, there feels something quite satisfying about it to me. Like, I don't like doing this too long though, which is, you know, why I'm literally doing 1 or 2 shunts here. But yeah. Oop, shouldn't do that until we stopped. Into engine only. Shut down. And there we go. No, and master key off. That to off. Tail light, route indicator. My headlamp on, it is, headlamp off. So we'll go plus, yeah, control plus. Now I'm going to quickly check my markers. So my setup here. So we actually want to go into siding 1 first. So I'll just quickly clip that on there. And that's Fort William Oil siding 1. So what we'll do is set our cab up, let that brake off. I shouldn't have had that loco brake on, oopsie. That's my bad. Reverser forward. Cut in the AWS. TPWS self-test observed as well. Just wait for that to come down. Once it hits 20, I'll just put nudge of power on. So you can see that in the yard area here, you do actually have traditional semaphores. Now it is a 15 limit within this area, but like I say, I'm not going to go above 10, just because, you know, we are shunting, and shunting is a hazardous job. So yeah, basically we're going to couple that, and then tow the train out of here. It is actually quite surprisingly difficult to get this thing moving up a hill. Like 37s are usually quite powerful. I think I actually may have incorrectly had these loaded the last time round, but I have fixed that, so they are definitely unloaded now. So it should be a bit easier, but still, like, it's quite a surprisingly heavy train with some surprisingly heavy grades. So I'm just going to draw up to that train in front. I'm going to, sorry, those wagons in front. I'm going to come to a stand about here. So that's about that's a little over my 6 foot, but oh well. And then what we'll do is just, should I have my tail lights on for this shunt? That's dangerous. And that is how you buffer up right there. So what I'll do is, now that I'm in the cab, I'll leave my loco brake on, but I'll leave my train brake released. And then what we'll do is just, will it let me couple? No, it won't. I have to do it via the hood. I do apologise. If I do, no, there's no way for me to do it that way. So we'll just couple that on. You can see it's just the standard chain link coupler there. Unfortunately, it doesn't sync particularly well on this loco, which is a shame, but to be honest, nah, it is what it is, right? So what we'll do is go back in the cab, let the loco brake off, do a quick little, just blip the brakes through. I want to put it into overcharge. That's just to basically make sure, sends a blast of compressed air down the train basically, and just ensures that we have that thing there. What I'm going to do is just turn off all the lights at the forward end of the cab now, and basically I'm going to shunt, and I'm going to just, we'll pretend I've got a pilot man in the rear. Actually, no, you can tell how much I've planned this out, can't you? So I'll shut this cab down, but we're not going to change back to this cab anymore. So I'm going to basically just do everything shutting down, not just for an end change. We'll just pretend we've got out, and then we are going to move forward now. So just like I say, because we actually changed ends, I will put it into overcharge, and I will turn my AWS lever on. And I'm actually going to switch to the back cab for one last reason, and that is to change myself over. To air goods, because these are TTAs, and I believe these do run on goods timings, which it'll be an absolute nightmare. I do apologise for that. That's on me for being a dingus, but it is what it is. So, back in the front. Open the windows just so I can hear this a bit better. Just confirm my brakes are coming off. I'll go into overcharge just to definitely get it fully released, and then release that, and then take power. And we'll do. There you go. Uh-oh. Too much power. I expected it to hit the issue with the rev counter and stop, but apparently not. Oh well. It's good fun to experience though, wasn't it? And we'll just throw that point, or the shunt will just throw that point, and then that'll line us up for those wagons there. Okay, and we're clear to set back, so I'll just let the brake off, set my reverser to reverse, go quickly back down there, and again, what we're going to do is basically act as a shunter here. So I can't do this properly, so we'll just have to pretend. Just notice I've still got the sectors branding. Petroleum sectors. So overall, these wagons, like I say, there is a default scenario that comes with them for Southwestern Expressways. These wagons have got basically the standard featurette of things that AP wagons normally have. Obviously, the automatic tail lamps are really good. You need to include the bit of code that stops them appearing. As you can see, that works. I was just an idiot and forgot to apply it. There's variety in terms of how the wagons actually appear. So you can see some of them have got their ladders at the end with the walkway. So you've got part walkway, full walkway, different type of part walkway, I think, and part walkway. I think there are some that don't have the walkway at all on the top. And yeah, you can see it's just different designs, and it just shows that basically, the wagons have had a bit of a history to them, and I think that's quite cool. Should probably go a bit more to go-go juice. We'll thrash the engine just to get a bit of smoke out the top. I think I knackered some sort of code there. Oh well. So I just heard the engine thrashing away, and I'm thinking, like, the reason I checked because I was literally had my finger pressed on the D key just to prevent. There we go, and hear the brake kick in, and bonk, and bonk, and bonk, and bonk. So you can see the screw links do line up a lot better when it's two wagons coupled together. I think this might just be due to the fact I bonked them apart a little too far for their own liking. But what we'll do, we'll hop inside, overcharge that brake. You should be able to hear going down the train, but apparently you can't today, which is fine. So we'll get the manual up and we'll read through the features and procedures just so that everyone's aware of what's in here. So it is part of the new Wagon Wednesdays. I wish AP would give me notice of this so I can line the bank up. So quick little run through. You've got two model variants, oil and bitumen. We've got the oil ones on the back. You've got 3 end ladder variants. We've seen 2 of them. You've got 60 plus branded variants, weathered variants on top of that, and empty and loaded versions with realistic physics. You've also got the flashing tail lamp. What I'm going to do is get the manual up on my other screen, and then I can talk whilst we drive. So it doesn't actually give a list of all the variants on there, but it's obviously got the 2 variants in code. You can have the old and new overhead line stickers and the tail lamp, like 0 tail lamp markers, which you can stick on there. I'll have a little look at the website, because I know the website actually has them named. So you have, no you don't have, I'll check Facebook, because I know that definitely has them. So I'm just going to check where we are in relation to the rear of the train. So we need to pull the entire train past this. Let's put a bit more juice on. You can see there's just a random little West Coast car knocked out there. There's probably just been, you know, as the kids would, so as the unofficial phrasing would be, a cripple, which is basically a broken wagon. It's not an offensive way to describe disabled people. Let's just quickly check the rear. Yeah, we're getting there, so I just put a decent chunk of brake application on. So there's branded variants that aren't listed, so it doesn't actually list them all. We'll open up a scenario editor at the end and have a little look that way on these. So that'll now be, the road will now be set for us. So what we'll do is we'll just set back. We'll say the shunt is basically clinging on to the end here and, you know, giving us clearance to shunt. Don't know why I didn't let the brake off before taking power. That was rather silly of me. So, like I say, as we have the shunter on the back, what I'll do is go no faster than about 5-6 miles an hour. Just because, you know, if you're riding on that as a shunter, you've got to have time to react if you fall off. Also, if the shunter tells us something on the radio, note the points didn't reset, we mustn't have gone forward enough. I look professional. Look wonderfully professional. You know, I've just realised now, whilst I'm standing here talking to you guys, that this wasn't actually intentional procrastinating on my part. Ooh, that's some noise right there. So what we'll do is I'm just going to let you listen to the sounds of the wagon. So I'm going to turn them up, and then I'm going to mute myself, and then I'll come back after the loco's passed. Go. So back in the saddle now, and put that back to roughly where it was, just to get a bit of noise there, but not too much. That's really cool, isn't it? I tried to go a little bit faster there than I should have, just to give you guys a bit of this like running noise of the wagons, not just the clink and clanking, you know. And yeah, we got a little bit there, like the low end I definitely heard. And that's, yeah. Just watch the points clear underneath us, and then basically we do one more change end, and then we head up the line towards Spean Bridge. So what I'm actually going to do is, now that we're clear, I'll go back down this end, and I want to mute myself again. We'll do another sound test of the train stop. Away a little bit there. So with these, the sound I didn't hear was the air actually being released out the brakes. I may have to check these aren't vacuum braked. But yeah, apart from that, really cool actually. There we go. I'll just let the power off now. Just coast for a bit now that we're at 40, which is our line speed. This is the fastest we're going to get this train going today. I think these are limited to 45. Wouldn't like to say though without speaking to an expert. This is the high speed running sound you're going to hear today. But actually, it's pretty cool. I really quite like these. They are pretty cool little wagons, and I think the tankers are probably part of the, you know, part of train sim wagons that we've missed the most in my opinion, because as much as, you know, you can sort of just about fudge a gondola car with most of the gondola cars. A lot of tankers look really specific, and the TTA is something I've wanted to see for a while, to be honest. Tanker traffic in the UK isn't actually that common within Great Britain, because you've only really got 3-ish mainstream wagons for sort of petroleum-based tankers. I should specify that there. So of course you've got the ICADs, but that's sort of powders and, you know, slurry and stuff like that. Then you've got your TEAs, which we've got now from Dovetail, I guess. You've got your TDAs from APW, and you've now got your TTAs by Bossman Games and AP, which is pretty cool. Just keep the power on. There's our 40 post. We can obviously continue at 40. It's basically multiple unit speed limit terminates. Full train limit is 40. This performs a lot better than these do when they're loaded. I'll tell you that for free. You see we're thrashing it though, and it's not at all, well, it's barely accelerating. So it is quite a steep incline we're going up. I'm just going to grab a drink whilst we're rolling here. But yeah, overall, pretty cool little journey this. Interestingly, that AWS Sunflower is not going to go out until we go past, like, that's got to be illuminated for 3.5 hours. It's not going to go out until we go past, well, we enter the National Rail Network, which will be probably after, you know, into the Glasgow suburbs, really. So it's Helensburgh Upper is probably the last station on RETB. We have to register GSMR. I said, I do quite like running trains in the summer, much more so than in the winter months. Like, winter driving's fun, but I also think at the moment, it's obviously, I'm recording this on the 27th of October, and it is starting to get a bit cold and a bit miserable. I think it's just nice. Yeah, wow, you can see that that downslope kicking in. I've got to put a lumbar brake on, actually. Let's listen to those run noises again. So you do get a bit of high-speed run there. You can hear the jointed sound of the rail. And you do get like the actual rolling sort of sounds there as well, which is nice. I think we're now going back up the hill, so I let the brake off. It's dropping off now. Got a little bothy there. About a third power be about good to keep us going up this hill. So yeah, basically we're just driving on this segment now. So the West Highland Line route by Thompson and Rector, as it was back in the day, covers obviously Fort William to Malig, but it also includes the line from Fort William as far as Spean Bridge, which is where we're running to today. So I've just seen a great joke. If your workplace requires a password change every 90 days, here's a top tip. Just set it to the name of the current UK Prime Minister, and you should be fine. Ouch. I mean, you'd be skipping Prime Ministers the right way going out, but hey, hashtag political. Sorry, had to. No, I'm just, I can't imagine, I think we are going to get some records for shortness. Like the first and second, you know, maybe about to be set again. So Truss has obviously been the shortest Prime Minister, and probably, you know, someone would struggle to be Prime Minister shorter than she is, unless they get assassinated on their way home from Buckhouse. I think that's when they officially become PM. Yeah. Listening to the sounds again, I do really like the way this thing sounds. You've got that that's the jointed rail noise, but the everything else is you know, the train, and I really like that. Also, just shows, if you think each of these is at least one lorry load, we've taken 10 lorry loads of oil off the road by doing this train journey. It's pretty cool, eh? Let's actually have a look at Spean Bridge on real-time trains, see if there's any, like, what the freight traffic is that goes through here these days. I think it'd literally be the aluminium train, like, a couple of times a week, and that'll be it. Interestingly, about the time we started filming this in real life, the sleet was going down. So you've got the every day, well today, which is a random Thursday, you've literally got one freight move that's scheduled to go, which is North Blythe Alcan to Fort William. Power. Get to experience some 37 thrash. There we go. So I'm just going to close the windows. now that we're up to speed, because it'll get drafty in here. And as long as you guys don't fart, it'll be fine. So yeah, the 6045, which is 0625 North Blythe Alcan to Fort William Alcan. Like I say, it leaves North Blythe, which is basically sort of between Newcastle and Morpeth in terms of northness, just one of the branch lines off there. And it leaves there, like I say, 6:25, and it arrives at Fort William at 8:45 at night. That just shows like how slow a lot of freight can be. In its defence, it takes it 6 hours to go from Helensburgh Upper at 15:26, so 5 hours, sorry, to Fort William. But still, like, yeah, it's pretty crazy that, you know, it's to get from, so it leaves, it takes it an hour and a half to get from North Blythe to Morpeth. That's because it has a runaround time of 20 minutes at Newsham. So basically it pulls out, has a 5 minutes hold, literally 20 minutes out at level crossing for another train to pass, and then goes and does its runaround, and then goes up to Morpeth. That takes quite some time, actually, looking at it. Because literally, like, it takes it 35 minutes to get from its start point to a location I could probably walk to in 35 minutes if the river wasn't in the way. I'll caveat that. You know, if I had a kayak, I'd be fine. Yeah. Yeah, and it's currently running 15 late passing Crianlarich. Oh no, it was reported 15 late passing Crianlarich, but it made it, well, it's currently going to be approaching, actually currently approaching Alcan, sorry, yeah, Fort William, so it'll be reversing there, where we did our shunting before. Quite a cool little perspective on the world for this, isn't it? I definitely wish Train Sim could handle distant scenery a bit better than it does, but apart from that, you know, it's just a nice sort of mountainy branch line, isn't it, really? Even though it's, yeah. There we go, distance signal. We are 0.9 miles from Spean Bridge now. Like I say, the overall, this pack's really cool. I'm not going to do like an in-depth deep dive. I think I'm just going to leave it at this. There will be people out there looking at you, Train Sim TV, who do a proper deep dive, but that's not what the content I do here, you know. I do the, we do cool trains and shit, kind of content. There you go, there is the start of the station. So what I'll do, just put a lumper brake on, just get it slowed off, down to 15. Because we are going down a slight slope here. That speed's not decaying enough, so I'll put a bit more brake, probably about that much. And just let that speed wash out, and then we'll go idle. I keep thinking of the headlights gone off, but I just don't know why my eyes don't focus on it properly. So I do need to be down at 15 actually for this entrance, so I did miss that. Quite a sharp brake application to get us down, hopefully. Just shows how slow this thing is to apply brakes. And fully off now. Fully off. In overcharge. Just get that brake off. Before we stop, please. And then we'll be just coming to a stand anywhere on the platform. So basically the plan is to get the tail end of the train into the siding so we can release the token block, which we can do now. So what I'll do is just take up that much power, that much brake, sorry. And that'll bring us to a stand at Spean Bridge Station. I think it's actually here that the signalers work out of. It might be this building here, I don't actually know. I think it's actually Spean Bridge is the RETB headquarters. Well, not headquarters, but you know what I mean, like main area they work from, sort of dealio. Pull up alongside, eh? Gives them a little look out with a cup of tea. There is like almost a slipping sound, but I know this train doesn't have WSP. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you did. Subscribe to see more from me on a regular basis. We'll see you in the next video. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.